Hello everyone, it's Nick here. I never thought that one day I'll be doing a video like this. In fact, I never thought that I'll be cycling again after suffering a terrible lower back injury about 1.5 years ago. And today, I want to share a deeply personal story with you about perseverance. It's a story of hitting rock bottom and climbing my way back up. A story that I hope not only inspires you, but also helps you avoid some of the mistakes I made during this challenging phase. It all started with my desire to ride faster. Back then, I was riding a 4D, and while I enjoyed it, I often found myself wondering, what would it feel like to ride a proper road bike? To have the wind rushing past me as I sped down the road at 40 kilometers per hour. The idea was so enticing, and I started searching more about road bikes online. But honestly, the information was overwhelming. I was bombarded with terms like derailleur types, frame sizes, and gear ratios. It all felt a bit too much. And one day, I reached out to a friend who was really into cycling, and coincidentally, he mentioned that he was planning to sell his road bike. I thought, why not just go for it? This is my chance, right? Don't let dreams be just dreams. And so I bought it. But there was a major problem. It wasn't the right size for me. Unfortunately, I found out too late. I already bought the bike, and after a couple of rides, the pain became unbearable. Many advised me to either sell the bike or get a proper bike fit. Now, when I looked into the cost of a bike fit, which was about $500 to $700, I hesitated, thinking, damn, that's almost half the price of a bike. And so I decided to just sell it instead. But against my better judgment, I went ahead and bought another bike without addressing the root issue. I completely ignored the importance of a proper bike fit. Now, this new bike was a size up from the previous one, and I thought it might solve the problem. However, after just 2 rides, the lower back pain became even worse. And desperate for relief, I turned to self-diagnosis, watching YouTube videos, and using heat patches. But the pain didn't go away. After a week above this, I finally went to see a physiotherapist and had an MRI done. That's when I found out I had a minor disc bulge. At first, the diagnosis sounded scary, but after just 3 sessions with my physiotherapist, I started feeling much better. And that leads us to the first lesson of today, which is to seek professional help immediately. Do not try to self-diagnose or brush it off. I think us Asians especially have a tendency to avoid spending money and instead try to resolve issues on our own. But looking back, my only regret was I had not seen a physio earlier. Now, you might think that this is where the story ends on a happy note. Unfortunately, it wasn't. Things actually got worse from here. So I thought I was on the road to recovery after those sessions, so I went back to cycling on my new road bike. Looking back, that was probably one of the worst decisions I've ever made. That single decision re-triggered the disc bulge and set me on an even worse path. The breaking point came when I had to fly to Bangkok for an annual company retreat. And throughout the flight, I was using heat patches because my back felt incredibly uncomfortable. And on the day that we were supposed to leave Bangkok and head to the outskirts for our retreat, the pain just became unbearable on those bumpy roads. Suddenly, it was radiating all the way from my lower back to my right leg. And at that moment, I knew this was serious. I couldn't ignore it anymore. About an hour later, I found myself in a hospital in Bangkok. And in the hospital, they confirmed my worst fears, which was the disc bulge had worsened. I didn't feel comfortable doing any procedure there and decided to just get some painkillers so that I could fly back the very next day. And going home wasn't any better. In fact, I was struggling even sleep on the bed. The mattress was simply not firm enough and resulted in my back sinking in, which made the pain worse. I had no choice. I decided to just put pillows and blankets on the ground and slept there. Now, looking at the state of myself back then, not even being able to rest on the bed was definitely depressing. And I knew at that point that I had hit rock bottom. Which brings us to the second lesson of today, which is to not rush the recovery process. Listen to your body and give it time to heal. Now, here's the thing with hitting rock bottom. It could only get better from here. And fortunately, after trying out a few different physiotherapists, I finally found one who could truly guide me through the recovery process. It wasn't easy and it wasn't cheap either. I had to make a lot of investments, not just in medical care, but also in things like getting proper shoes with cushion, getting an ergonomic chair, and most importantly, a bed that was firm enough to support my recovery. But every step was worth it. And the crazy thing was, the amount I had spent on my recovery ended up costing 10 times more than the original cost of the bike fit. And looking back at this was so silly. It's crazy how a single decision could lead to such an outcome. And this brings us to the third lesson, which is probably the most important lesson for all cyclists, which is to just get a bike fit no matter the cost. Now, fast forward to today, I'm happy to say that I'm back on the bike. After about a year of recovery, proper physiotherapy, a personal trainer to help me build back my fitness levels, and a lot of learning, I'm now cycling again, and this time pain-free. And the first bike I bought after my recovery was a Brompton. As my perspective on riding has changed actually, I no longer want to just ride fast. I wanted to explore the world on two wheels, and the folding mechanism of the Brompton is perfect for that. It allows me to bring the bike anywhere, making every ride an adventure. While I've yet to go back on a road bike, I do plan to do so sometime in the upcoming year. And looking back, I knew that all the effort, time, and investments were ultimately worth it. It wasn't just about cycling anymore. It was about reclaiming a part of myself that I thought I had lost. Cycling became more than just a hobby. It was a symbol of resilience, growth, and rediscovery. And every pedal stroke now reminds me of how far I've come, not just physically but mentally as well. With that said, thank you guys so much for watching and listening to me on this journey. Sharing this story has been a deeply personal experience, and I hope it inspires you to keep pushing forward no matter what challenges you're facing. And if you've enjoyed this video or found it helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content. Until next time, take care.